Like for those of you who have not heard, a few days ago, an audio tape was leaked, presumably by Kari Lake's team, which has her and Arizona Republican Party chair Jeff DeWit, and he's essentially bribing her to stay out of the Senate race. He says, among a number of things, some people back east don't want you to run. What did they have to do to get you to just stand down for a couple of years? So let's run a little bit of that tape for people who haven't listened, and then let's talk about it.
Sure, let's do it.
This is back east. There are very powerful people who want to keep you out.
I know they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So, this conversation never happened.
This is crazy, though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
Well, maybe you're right.
So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
You want to stay out for 2 years. But I'll tell you what I can offer you. The ask I got today from back east was, is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and to keep her out? And I said, well, what are you willing to do? Like, whatever we need to do.
I'm not willing to accept that. Then I'm going to be the biggest pain in these people's ass. And go back and tell them that. I'm running, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in their ass.
I'm willing to tell them that.
And they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
Is there a number at which
I can be bought?
not be bought?
That's what it's about.
You can take a pause for a couple of years.
No.
And then go right back to what you're doing.
No. 10 million, 20 million, 30, no. A billion, no. This is not about money. This is about our country.
I actually wish you'd just give me a counteroffer this big. Give me a counter.
I can't be bought.
Do we believe her? Can she not be bought?
Well, yeah. So my question. So after this audio leaked, DeWit resigned from his position as the chair of the Republican Party in Arizona, and he basically said, "I want her to stop attacking," indicating that there may be more audio. But I was going to ask you, Brad. You have said in the past you're not a Kari Lake fan.
Sure.
So, other than Jeff DeWitt being the slimiest human being that exists on the planet, what was your take on this?
Well, I don't believe her. I think that she can be bought. I think most politicians can be bought. I don't think I think most people can be bought. If someone offered her $1 billion, like for real offered her $1 billion, she would probably say, okay, yeah, I'll hang out for 2 years. I don't give a shit. Give me that $1 billion. What are you waiting for? Why are you even asking me? Just send it now. It's $1 billion, right? I think that she would probably do that. Now, I don't know. I guess we'll never know, right? Maybe her real price is $2 billion. But what if, what is her motivation in this? She's already recording the audio. I don't know why she's recording the audio. That seems kind of shady and weird, but maybe that happens a lot in politics. I'm not a politician. I don't know. They probably a lot of them do that. But she's already recording it, and she's got this juice. She's got this juicy, and he sounds juicy when he's talking about it. Hey, I got this. I got some guys back east. I got them. They can put you on the payroll, right? And so she's recording this. She releases it. It boosts her profile. Maybe she knows the offer was only going to be like $5 million, and she's like, I already have $5 million. I don't need that shit. I'd rather run for Senate. So she releases it, and then she gets back in the national spotlight. She boosts her profile as some very upstanding politician, better than the rest. Look at you, look at me. I'm exposing corruption, and she maybe increases her chances of winning when she runs again. I don't know if that's true, but I could see that as plausible.
I can too. I think so. I don't know. To answer your question about why she's recording, I think this guy, it's probably not the first time he's done something like this. Maybe not explicitly offered her money, but something questionable that would encourage one to record when they're around him. So I'm not surprised by that. And I'm also not surprised by her answer. I mean, it's very easy to be the principled one on a recording when you know you're recording, and then you know you're going to release that recording, and so you can set it up to make it, I mean, be as principled and determined and dedicated to the cause as you can be when the other person doesn't know what's going on. I don't know Kari Lake. Maybe that is genuinely who she is, but given the fact that she is a politician, it is very easy to kind of create this narrative there when you know that you're recording. I'm curious what the other recording is, what else that has been said. If he's willing to offer her money and positions and this and that and the other, I can only imagine to what lengths they have gone to try to get her out of that race. She sounds very much like Trump when she's like, the people love me, like only I can do this, like da, da, da. And I mean, and people do genuinely like her. I mean, like she's quite popular, I think, among conservatives. But I don't know. Can she be bought? Like, probably, if she wasn't recording that, like she probably could. But $1 billion is a lot of money.
If those guys back east want to put me on their payroll to, like, I don't know, stop doing this podcast, I'm in. Put me on the payroll.
Oh wow, really? That's all it's going to take to get you off.
So a couple of things before I lay into you fellas here. So her story is DeWit calls her and is like, I got to come by and see you. She'd already kind of started having suspicions about him. He's like, I got to come by and see you. I can't put this in writing. Are you around? She's like, I'm working on my book. I got to leave for the airport in a little bit. No, you can't come by. He's like, no, I got you. I have to talk to you. So her story is he calls this weird frantic call. He can't put it in writing. He shows up at her door and then she records him because she knew it was suspicious. That's her story. That's her story. Now, I don't know if there's other audio. She seemed to indicate that there was, and so did he when he resigned. Now, how is Kari Lake the one that we're criticizing here?
I'm not. You're right. That's not what I did.
We know this stuff happens. Bob Menendez was found with gold bars in his closet. Yes. And we know that one of the ways that people are caused to conform to the establishment is they're bought off.
Sure.
And why can't we take her, why can't we give her the benefit of the doubt and say, this has probably happened to half the Senate, not necessarily stay out of the race, but like, we want you to vote this way or vote that way. And here's look at Nikki Haley. She got a nice little position with Boeing. Like, we know this stuff happened. Mm. And you two are on here giving Kari Lake shit.
Well, okay.
She turned it down. She knew that she could use this for her political benefit. Of course. But the guy that we should be talking about is Jeff DeWit and the who is behind him sending this message from back east, if we take it at face value that this is actually a real offer.
And let me clarify my position. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. Yes, my criticism was a little too strong on Kari Lake when it really should be geared towards the bad actors here. I agree with you. But I was just answering the question, and I don't even know if this was the question posed, whether or not I believed her. Oh, no, I was just kind of responding and riffing on what Brad said, whether or not he believed that she would take, I'm not blaming you, Brad, I'm just saying whether or not she would take the bribe. But you're right. No, I mean, she did nothing wrong in this instance at all. Whether or not she would take the bribe or not, I mean, she didn't do anything wrong. This man came to her. Presumably, he knew she knew he was a shady character based on that call, probably based on other actions he's taken in the past. And so I don't blame her for recording. I would have done the same. And she didn't ask them to bring her an offer, like they brought her an offer. So yeah, she's not at fault. And my commentary certainly was I needed to retool that. I agree. She's not at fault. I still don't know that she wouldn't take the bribe if she wasn't recording, but she's not at fault by any means.
I mean, I don't. It's a politician and it's politics, and so first principles are always lying, right? Always assume they're lying. Everybody involved in everything, the person recording and the person that releases it and the person that's being recorded, it's all a bunch of lies. Probably, maybe not all the time, but that's where I start. All right. So is Kari Lake being totally honest in the situation? Maybe, I don't know, but I'm gonna just assume that there's probably some nefarious things going on. It's not surprising, I don't think, that this happened. You already said it, Michael. We already know that this shit happens. It's maybe exciting to like have it so in our faces where we can all see it and there's like proof that it happens. Of course, they're going to say, "Oh, this is a one-off thing. The guy resigned. You know, he was a lone wolf, a lone actor, and this stuff never happens. What are you talking about?" And then we'll never hear another. People are going to be more careful. We're not going to hear. We're not going to hear another audio tape like this again for a long time. Maybe we will. I don't know. But I'm just operating from the perspective that they're both bad actors because they're both politicians.
Well, I can't say, I don't know. I mean, I can't say that she's necessarily a bad actor. I don't think her going into this and with the intention of releasing it makes her a bad actor. Like if somebody's going to do that to me, and I'm that principled that she's claiming she is, I'm probably going to record it and put it out there too, because what she's seeing is as this, they're not, I wouldn't say the enemy, but the enemy for lack of a better word is trying to stop her and stop a movement and take over this country and stuff. And from the way that she frames herself, she is fighting for something that's greater than just this political office. She thinks she's fighting for the country. And so with great risk or reward comes great sacrifice, and something like this might be it. I don't know.
Are you trying to Spider-Man?
Is that who's
great responsibility with great great responsibility?
But that's not what I was going for. I was talking about like the risk is the country, and so it comes Spider-Man. Anyway, so then the part that got me most though, and we didn't hear it in this clip, it was in the whole clip, was when she was talking about how they want to use this money to control her, and he's like, no, we don't want to control you. They just want you to be on the team. And I'm like, okay, is it like the same thing? Like, what do you mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, the team has one coach, and what does he do? Control the players. So, like, that's exactly what you want. And it's just so interesting to me that they would go to such lengths to do that to her and try to claim they want her on the team. It's because like we see this in politics so much where it's like you have to pick a team and you cannot disagree on one minor issue with the team that you're allegedly assigned to, because then you're like disloyal or this or that, or it's so crazy that we see that in every level, every single level, that you need to be with people 100% of the time on 100% of the issues, or else you're not a part of the team. I don't want to be a part of anybody's team. I'm not on anybody's team. I just do my own thing, and everybody should just do their own thing as well.
I'm on the team where people are not being bribed. So one comment and then a question, if I can remember it. There seems to be, at least on the MAGA side, a disruptive force. Trump's out there thrashing and like saying shit, and there's all these people that are following him, Kari Lake, Matt Gaetz, and it's disrupting the system a little bit. And the things that were like unspoken truths, you're paid off, you're going to sex parties, you're trading stocks on like insider information, all that stuff. You hang out with Jeffrey Epstein, all that stuff is kind of coming to the surface as a result of this disruptive force in the, on the MAGA side of the Republican Party. And I think this is just another example of a disruptor who's willing to share the dirty secrets of the establishment. So that's my thought on it. Like, of course, Kari Lake's using it to her benefit. She's going to raise a ton of money off of this thing, which is good for her Senate race. But so my question is, who are the people back east specifically, if you had to guess?
Like specific names?
Sure.
Well, I mean, it's got to be, back east. What's east of Arizona? A whole lot, right? A whole lot of states are east of Arizona. It's specifically, I don't know, the Republican establishment, Mitch McConnell, right?
Howard Johnson,
Mike Johnson.
Oh, Mike Johnson. Sorry,
Mike. Are they the same person?
I don't know whoever the speaker is. Mike Johnson.
Mike Johnson. Come on. Mike
He's,
Johnson, and he looks like a puppet, like a literal puppet. So maybe he's doing that.
Kevin McCarthy. I mean, I don't really know how much power he has to wield, but
Donald Trump.
No, I don't think Donald Trump. Do you think?
I don't know what's going on in that guy's head. Maybe there's
her.
I don't actually think that it's Donald Trump, but I could see someone like Mitch McConnell, and he's got a lot of ties in the business world. He's been around the block a few times, making $100,000 a year or whatever it is, but somehow worth many millions. He knows some business people, right?
Right.
He's probably got some business people in his ear saying, "Get that Kari Lake bitch out of here."
Well,
Right?
he's got the slim, or he doesn't have a majority now in the Senate, so he has that at stake. She's running for Senate. 2, he has a history of putting people on the payroll. His wife of large companies to make lots of money, and the accusation out from the MAGA world is it's McConnell and Daines does the.
Who is Dane?
Steve Daines is a senator from Montana. He leads the Senate Republican PAC, and that's what I've seen people are indicating it was those two.
So why would I mean, this maybe relates to my question from last week when we were talking about why Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley would stay in the race just to waste Donald Trump's money if they're all on the same team, quote unquote. In this case, this is, it's a Republican running for Senate and you don't have the majority. Why would you stop this person from running?
The Senate is, other than Rand Paul and Mike Lee, the Senate is pretty, on the Republican side, the Senate is pretty unified, establishmentarian, if you will. So she's just another fracturing of that, consensus. And even Rand Paul and Mike Lee play ball quite a bit to get things done in the Senate.
And not to mention having her run right now and be a national figure and saying all the things that she says, they might view it as hurting some candidates who are in close races, because anything that she says, similarly to Donald Trump and other figures who are kind of like figureheads in the movement, get attributed to candidates up and down the ballot. And so I think a lot of them may be looking at close races and are saying that by having someone like her out there saying things that she says, it might be a problem.
Well, when is she running?
When?
Yeah, didn't she just lose like 2 years ago? And
governor. For governor, she lost. She's running for Senate this year against.
Okay, she's running for governor.
Or in replace of Kirsten Sinema's seat, correct?
I don't know which seat.
The hottest ever.
Oh, so I remember my other question before we move on to the next topic. Should this guy go to jail
for trying to bribe somebody?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Should he? I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, if you go by the letter of the law, probably. But I don't know. Yes, he should. I guess there should be an example set for this, but it's just gonna be a sacrificial lamb. They're not gonna stop doing this. It's not gonna teach anybody a lesson.
It won't. But do I think he should be held accountable? Sure. Because now that when you really think about it, I mean, he's interfering with the electoral process. He's trying to remove an option of New Mexican voters. Do they call themselves New Mexican? Yeah, I guess
Arizona.
Right. Arizonian, whatever. Arizona voters. And so, yeah, I mean, am I going to be the one to bring charges against him? No. But if I was on the jury, would I probably vote? Yeah, probably.
Well, charges also imply there's going to be some sort of investigation into what happened here. And I would assume if what he's saying is true, because that's also a plausible scenario. He could be making this thing up. He could be like, I'm going to go to Kari Lake and tell her I have a bribe and then go back east when she's like, gives me her number and then I'll get a payday. That's a scenario that's possible. But if he's charged, then there would be some investigation to kind of get to the bottom of what's actually happening. I understand, Brad, nothing would come of it, but I would say something's better than nothing at this point.
I don't know. Maybe if nothing happens, it keeps really spotlighting for the populace that there's really two classes of people here, and you're not in the upper class. And maybe that's good club. See, yeah, it's a big club, and you ain't in it.
You ain't in it. The same club they use to hit you over the head all day when they tell you what to think.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, yeah, I could see. Yeah, okay, sure. Something should happen, but there's an advantage to not happening. I don't know. People need to wake up and realize exactly what we just said. Is this too much shade? It is too much shade. Quit throwing shade, Charles.